On January 12, 2026, it was officially announced that the Thomas More Saints would be discontinuing its men's volleyball program 8 years after it was reintroduced to the NCAA landscape. Their reasons? Challenges with a shift of conference affiliation as an NCAA sport and increased travel that caused student athletes to miss classes, according to Vice President and Athletic Director Terry Connor. After being reached out to by multiple sources that wish to remain anonymous, it has become clear that there is more to this story than what is being told by this athletic department to the general public about the real reasons behind this program's cutting. I have joined with me today former Thomas More setter Bradley Patrick, who spent the 2025 season with the Saints before transferring to Central State for the 2026 season, and he has been kind enough to go on record to tell us what he believes is the real reason behind the cutting of Thomas More's men's volleyball program. Bradley, thanks for being with me. Obviously, a lot of emotions when it comes to this news, alongside a lot of confusion as to the real reasons behind the cutting of this program. What can you tell me about your time at TMU and what led to these events transpiring?
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to get on here and tell my side of the story and speak for some of the guys that were on the team and give the inside scoop of what really happened because the article that they released was, I'll just say false. I'm not going to say too much on the article. It was nothing with what actually happened. And I found it pretty disgraceful that they threw that as here I have it wrote down. They said this was a difficult decision, but necessary as we recognize the challenges of conference affiliation, like you said. They even mentioned it being a sponsorship issue and missed class. None of those were ever an issue. Before I dive deep into what actually transpired, I want to appreciate Coach Harris Boys, who handled the situation amazingly. I've seen some things that people think he was involved in, but absolutely not. He did more than what he could have and more than he should have for the team. He represented us well, and I'll go on and on about how much I appreciate him and how he handled this. Season started off great. I transferred in. Everyone was really accepting. It was great. New coaching under Coach Harris Boys, great assistant coach. Team was doing good. We had a great team dynamic. That's one thing. One of the things that the returner said that this season started off with better chemistry than they ever have before. So I felt that that was a great foundation for us, that what we built on, and it looked pretty good with how the season was going to go. And then it really took a turn within a 2 week span, I think, that things started to shift and really fall apart before Coach Harris Boys resigned. So it started with it was really simple. A teammate who I won't mention called me the N-word for trying to wear a Central State beanie to one of the practices, and he called me the N-word, and then he said the N-word in our team group chat with the full team. He referred to it as thug, SHIT. It was just a bad joke. The team didn't address it. Everyone in the group chat just kind of opened it and went on about their day. But the only person that I think addressed that moment right there was Blake Kibler. He was one of the starters, a junior, I believe, from Columbus, Ohio. He was one of the only people on the team that really stood out and really voiced out that little joke that he made wasn't okay. And obviously, the team wasn't very diverse. I'm not even African American myself, but he called me, and of course, I felt offense coming from Central State University and HBCU. Just being a minority in general, it wasn't okay with me. But Blake Kibler was the only one that really addressed it when it happened. He was the one, I believe, that took it to Coach Boys, to his office, and let him know. And with Coach Harris Boys having in mind about the reputation of Thomas More University, they're known for having racism issues. They had one last year that I recall. But when he took it to him, Coach Boys came in wanting to turn that around. He immediately cut him from the team. He explained that it's unfortunate because it was a joke that he made through the group chat that could have just been a lighter punishment, but due to the past, that he has to cut everything out. So after he cut him from the team, things were pretty okay. That was when the administration went out of their way to reinstate him and bring him back. That's when it really started to be like realized that this was a bigger issue than what it could have been. It could have simply been handled that he's off the team, that joke's not okay, racism isn't okay anymore in this program. But the administration again went out of their way to reinstate him before he even appealed. That's when it became bigger, like I said. Um, it was brushed off by most teammates, like I said, and then when administration brought him back, we were told that this wasn't an issue and what he said wasn't a real issue. Something else that they also said was that if we feel hurt from the white kid saying the N word, then we need therapy. It was quotes like that that they said that really opened your eyes to how real the situation was and how disrespected we were as the minorities on the team. And I believe there was only four of us. Um, the main thing I want to say while I'm on this and I have this platform to speak on is that the damage was done not just by the incident, but by the way leadership chose to respond. And I think everyone else on the team can agree to that. Um, After Coach Harris boys left, I'm pretty sure every freshman entered the transfer portal. Over half the team entered the portal. Um, so everyone was pretty much understanding of the situation, how big it became. But after it was said and after administration started to bring it back, it immediately fractured the entire team. The chemistry we once had went out the window, and then Coach Boyce leaving once administrators brought him back, it was just a big split down the middle. The second racism entered the conversation. I went to the athletic director's office when I found out that he was being brought back after I think they wanted to put him on a week suspension and then bring him back. I went to his office and I had a one-on-one meeting with him after emailing multiple people trying to find out where he's at. I just showed up and I had a nice little talk with him. It was nothing productive at all. I think one of the first things I did when that was brought up when I went in there was we spoke about how I was the kid from the HBCU for some reason and how the HBCU was brought up, I think, 3 or 4 times when I went to talk to him about it. And it just felt disrespectful the way he was speaking about it. Um, he was he was saying things like, "Oh, you're the one from the HBCU." Just the little words like that really threw me off with our whole conversation. I went in there hoping for answers, asking why Coach Boyce left, even though I knew the answer. I wanted to hear it from him, and nothing came out of that conversation. He said things like, "I hope we have a season this year. I hope the team stays together, and I hope the program doesn't get cut." After he said all those things, I wrote all those things down, and I went to every freshman. And I let them know it's not looking good. You guys need to plan accordingly and not waste this year and get out of here as soon as possible. And that was around the time that everyone entered the portal. We had teammates like Xander go to Manhattan, Colt Fuller at Merrimack. Nate also went to Merrimack. Everyone got out to a pretty good um, program. So that was at least one of the only positives of this. But we pretty much knew within the team that the program was going to go downhill after Coach Boyce left. We had a interim head coach who stepped up and he tried his best. There was things he said that were a little shaky, but I'm not going to speak on that because he was in a tough spot stepping in. He graduated last year, so he had not much experience, and it was a rough spot for him. So he tried his best, but it didn't go well after Coach Boyce left. Um, but another thing that needs to be mentioned is they held a team meeting. The administrators held a team meeting. And the idea of this was great, but how it went was, again, nothing short of disrespectful and disgraceful. Um, I forgot who exactly held this team meeting, but it was two administrators. And the whole time, they just threw out random Jeff Bezos quotes at us and direct only the minorities sitting in the same corner. There was about four of us. Only one of us were any parts of African American, and it was directly pointed at us, looked at us for everything that was mentioned. Um, we were told that we were told, not asked, but directed to teach our white teammates how racism isn't okay and how to not be racist. They went through they went through that, I'd say, 45-minute meeting. Basically, that summed up how the entire meeting went, was that we had to teach them not to be racist. It was so disrespectful. Our only teammate of African American descent was he left about 15 minutes in because of how disrespected he felt. Um, it was complete chaos after the words was said. This was all within a 2 week span, I believe, from it being said in the group chat to it not being addressed within the team to coach addressing it like he should have, speaking about it like he should have within the team, administrators going back on what they shouldn't have went back on, and then holding these meetings that were not productive at all. They required us to go to HR. We had all the minorities, only the minorities were required to go to mandatory HR meetings to speak about the incident. I don't think any of us heard back of anything after that. It was just kind of a one and done type of thing. The whole way it was handled was disrespectful, and I've never seen or even heard of a program like that who understands that they have a past like they do. Just last season, there was an incident just like this that someone got kicked off the team. I don't understand why they would go back on it and why they would blatantly disrespect us to our faces. Um, Again, like I said, the team started off great. The chemistry was great. We had no problems like this. We had great leaders with Noah, Blake Kibler, like I said, Tanner. We had great leaders on the team, great upperclassmen who were guiding us. We had great coaching, and it just all went out the window the second racism entered this. The team was fractured, and there wasn't much that we could really do, especially after Coach Boys left. One positive about all of this, other than everyone getting out and being able to move on to better programs for the best part, was how Coach Boys handled it again. He did phenomenal. I think everyone on the team understood that, and him stepping down from that role, he's now coaching at Queens, which was a great step up for him. But he had no clue what he was going to do when he stepped down. On the phone with him, he called me immediately, and he was like, "I'm not going to work under this. I'm going to stand for what I stand for. And even though I'm a random white guy, I can't just be be working under people like this." So that was at first some of the younger guys were a little upset because we lost our head coach, and that's when things got real. But as time moved on, I'd say maybe a week after, the whole team understood that that was the right thing to do. And now he's coaching at Queens with Peluso, and they're doing great things over there. So overall, that's about the main story about what happened, and that demise from the racism was really the only reason that the program was cut. Not once did we ever have any issues with sponsorship or things of that nature. The program wasn't funded well at all, but it was manageable. Obviously, we were bringing in freshmen, we were competing, we had good games scheduled, but sponsorship and missed class, scheduling was never an issue. None of these were ever issues. It was just this cover up that they threw out there because they didn't want to address the real issue.
You mention a lot. You
Yeah,
mentioned the fracture that immediately occurred after what transpired. You mentioned the scheduling conflicts that weren't conflicts. This is
yeah,
a team that joins GLVC, the Great Lakes Valley Conference, in its first year as a conference, and while Thomas More as a program, as a university, is joining the MAC, or not the MAC, but a similar conference that I can't pull the name from right now. It does seem, like you said, a little bit like a cover up.
absolutely.
Um, what can you say about, again, how they handled this? A program that has had issues in the past, and immediately with an opportunity to handle this in a way that could have gone in a way to keep people happy with inside the program.
Absolutely.
Um, but decide to um, go against that and take the side of somebody that caused a lot of heartache and a lot of pain for the members of that team.
Yeah, I think it was a really easy fix that they could have done. but I think they avoided it, and I think they knew what they were doing the entire time. I don't think they really cared much about what we felt. Um, I think I don't think they cared much about the minorities on the team. So this being an issue to them wasn't a real issue, like he said. Like when he said we needed therapy for taking offense to this, or they said that we need to teach the white kids to not be racist. It was never an issue to them. So even though it would have been pretty easy to just let Coach Boyce handle it how he did within the team, instead they went back and disrespected him, disrespected everyone on the team, and especially disrespected the minorities on the team,
Yeah.
especially our minorities who were African American.
And you look at the bigger picture of this because now in the landscape that we're in with men's volleyball, it's so easy to just throw out the we don't have the funding, we don't
Yeah,
have the
absolutely.
students, we don't
Absolutely.
this, that, or the other, and create a program that had history up until the 1990s, had a little bit of a hiatus, but came back, has been
Yep.
competing for 8 years, and now with the snap of a finger, they can claim all the list of reasons that we've seen so many
Yeah.
programs be cut, and it's just like that. There's no question, and people
Yeah.
aren't obviously getting the real story that we are now hearing from you. Um, how dangerous is that
Yeah.
for the precedent that's being set by this program and maybe followed by others? And I hope it's not, but still, it's a dangerous precedent to be set.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Looking ahead though, obviously you found your home back at Central State.
Back
Uh,
at
eh,
CSU. Yep.
doing great things this year in HBCU that's competing at a high level. What can you say about that program and how it's just welcome you back with open arms and
Absolutely.
compete and uh not have these issues.
Yeah. Oh, of course not. We don't have anything like this here. Just to put that out there, we never have issues like this at this amazing HBCU. But Coach Devin Walker, he welcomed me back immediately. He was one of the first people I called to let him know what was going on, and he immediately let me know that this opportunity was always going to be here for me. A funny thing is that whenever I decided to transfer out, he told me that he doesn't think that I would fit in well over there, and he said they've had racism issues in the past, Bradley. I want you to be careful over there, and I want you to keep me informed on what's going on. So, I mean, Coach Devin Walker, he's an amazing coach, and even better man. He did amazing with this whole issue. He handled it well. The coaching between Thomas More and Central State University that I've had, it's been nothing short of great. It's just it's unfortunate that the higher ups, the administrators, are the ones that have to really put a dim on this light. Because Coach Boys, he was doing amazing over there as well.
Yeah, I have no question that he was, and it really puts a dark spot on
Yeah,
what we're trying to build, especially in the South, because that is where we see it growing on the West Coast, or of course on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, up in the Midwest, and now we're trying to get it to come down south, and you see an instance like this, and it just causes such distaste, and it leaves a bad taste in the mouth for
it kind of
programs.
puts us back any of the steps that we've moved forward within the sport, unfortunately.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm not sure what else can be said about this situation.
Yeah.
I just know that I'm glad to see so much of that talent that obviously Thomas More had find
Mhm.
new homes, continue to succeed at their
Absolutely.
programs, and um, it's just upsetting. It's really upsetting, and from a third party perspective, that's trying to get this story out there. I appreciate you being able to speak so well on what transpired. Is there anything else that you would like to say? Whether it be about the state of men's volleyball currently, whether it be about this specific situation, I leave the floor to you.
I think I want to leave it on the statement I made before that the damage was not done just by the incident, but by the way leadership chose to respond. Um, Coach Boys, the team, the leaders on the team did amazing with how they handled the situation. but administration drove it into the ground, and they had a disregard for the program from the beginning. It's unfortunate, but luckily the guys who wanted to make it out made it out, and things are still moving forward. So that's the positives from this all. It's just an unfortunate event that happened. Pretty unavoidable, obviously, with the past, but it is what it is, and we move forward from here.
Well, to have this story out there and to have the truth out there is really important, and I appreciate you taking the time to let the masses know that
Yes, sir.
this
I
is not.
appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. That this isn't just a funding issue, that this isn't just a program that was while it may have been neglected,
Yes,
wasn't in any way, shape, or form could have been going on for another 5, 10 years, if not
absolutely.
more.
Yep.
Um, but Bradley, thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck to Central State this year, and to
Yes, sir.
all of our fellow Thomas More graduate or alumni in their
Yeah.
new homes. But thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.